Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are taking a microscopic voyage to deconstruct one of humanity's most perfectly adapted and, frankly, most infuriating enemies. I mean, we all know the sound, right? We definitely all know the itch, but the actual biology behind these creatures is absolutely fascinating.
Okay, let's dive right into this universal annoyance. Have you ever wondered why you seem to get absolutely eaten alive at a summer barbecue while your friend sitting literally right next to you doesn't get a single bite? Well, it's not random. The science behind it is incredible. Today, we're going to find out exactly what makes you the perfect target for a midnight snack, how these creatures operate on a microscopic level, and, crucially, how we're fighting back. Before we get to the bite itself, we need to understand exactly what we're dealing with here. Mosquitoes belong to the family Culixiae, which is a massive group made up of roughly 3,600 distinct species. And they aren't some recent evolutionary accident either. This group of slender winged insects has been perfecting its biology since the Cretaceous period. Evolutionary biologists classify them as micropredators. Basically, that means they're tiny animals that parasitize larger hosts by drinking their blood without, killing them instantly. But as we'll see in a minute, medical parasitologists view them in a much darker light.
That deep evolutionary history is perfectly illustrated by their life cycle, which is broken into 4 very distinct stages. It's almost like a biological puzzle. They start out as eggs, laid in stagnant water, hatch into larvae, transition into a pupa stage, and finally emerge as the airborne adults we all recognize. And what's really wild here is that those first 3 stages are entirely aquatic. It's only the final, adult stage that actually takes to the air.
Just picture this aquatic nursery for a second. Culex larvae will literally cling upside down to the water's surface just so they can breathe. Female mosquitoes will seek out places like cesspools, grassy puddles, really any wind-protected stagnant water to lay their eggs. And they are prolific. A single female can drop anywhere from 100 to 300 eggs at a time, clustered together in this weird raft-like shape. Those hatch into these fascinating, ravenous little larvae that just feast on floating organic matter.
Now here's where it gets kind of crazy. The environment totally pulls the strings on how fast they grow. As larvae, they molt their skin 4 separate times. Science calls these stages instars, before becoming a non-feeding pupa. The pupa doesn't eat at all. It just rests near the surface, transforming into an adult. But get this, water temperature completely dictates this timeline. Research shows that at a warm 35 degrees Celsius, a mosquito can hit the pupa stage in just 7 days. But if the water drops to a chilly 10 degrees, that exact same process drags out to 40 days.
So the really crucial point is what happens once they finally leave the water. We tend to blame all mosquitoes for biting us, but actually scratch that. It's a total misconception. The male mosquitoes, they're completely harmless to humans. They survive strictly on fruit and plant nectar. It is only the female mosquito that bites us, and she doesn't do it out of malice, right? She does it purely as a biological necessity to harvest the protein she desperately needs to develop those hundreds of eggs we just talked about.
And if you're wondering why they always seem to buzz right in your ear before they strike, well, it's not just to annoy you. That sound is literally a matter of life and death for their species. The male mosquito has these 2 small feathery antennae on his head, equipped with a highly specialized sensory center called the Johnston organ. This thing is perfectly tuned to process the exact wing vibrations of the female. We're talking anywhere from 100 to 8,000 vibrations per second. To the male, that irritating buzz is actually an irresistible mating call.
But let's get back to why the female chooses you. When an Asian tiger mosquito lands on human skin, she doesn't just bite randomly. She's drawn in by a highly specific, personalized cocktail of your body heat, your moisture, and the carbon dioxide you're exhaling. But it goes even deeper. Did you know mosquitoes actually have taste receptors on their feet and tongues? Seriously, when you exercise or your body temporizes, you sweat out lactic acid. Studies show that when that lactic acid combines with certain amino acids in your sweat, it acts as a massive biological trigger. It's practically begging the mosquito to bite. They actually land and taste your skin before they commit to the whole shebang.
Now, a mosquito bite might just seem like an itchy nuisance, but historically, it's so much more sinister than that. Let's ground this with a specific year, 1902. That is the year Dr. Ronald Ross won the Nobel Prize. Why? Because he made the absolutely groundbreaking discovery that female Anopheles mosquitoes transmit malaria to humans. This was the exact moment humanity realized these tiny insects were delivering something far deadlier than just a simple allergic reaction.
That realization basically changed everything. These micropredators are devastating vectors for a massive list of global health threats. They carry parasitic diseases like malaria and lymphatic filariasis, as well as deadly viral infections, including yellow fever, dengue fever, and the Zika virus. This is exactly why medical parasitologists consider them one of the most dangerous creatures on the planet. They simply transport pathogens from one host to another with terrifying, almost machine-like efficiency.
So how on earth do we fight back? Well, science has given us two incredible chemical tools. First up, DEET, which the public has actually been using since 1957. You apply it directly to your skin, and it masks your natural scents, like that lactic acid we mentioned, giving you 6 to 12 hours of solid protection. But if you need something stronger, there's permethrin. You don't put this on your skin. Instead, you treat your clothes, tents, or mosquito nets with it. Permethrin is a hardcore insecticide that kills mosquitoes on contact, and amazingly, it stays effective for over 15 days, even after you wash your gear. It's basically a long-lasting, deadly shield.
But hey, chemicals aren't our only defense. We also deploy nature's own assassins to fight mosquitoes right at the source. This is what we call biological control. For example, we use specialized fish like the gambusia, commonly known as the mosquito fish, to just eat the larvae right out of the water. We use microscopic crustaceans called copepods and even geckos as eco-friendly predators. Scientists are even weaponizing a specific type of fungus, Entomorthora calicus, which acts as a deadly pathogen to the adults. We are literally using the food chain to our advantage.
Which brings us to a really critical crossroads. Even with our DEET, our treated nets, and our biological assassins, the battlefield is shifting. As global temperatures rise, invasive species like the Asian tiger mosquito, the one that literally tastes human skin, are spreading way beyond their native ranges, pushing deeper into Europe and bringing those viral infections right along with them. So, knowing how perfectly adapted their life cycle is, how they track our very breath and sweat, and how rapidly they're expanding, we have to ask ourselves, will humanity ever fully outsmart our oldest, deadliest evolutionary rival, or are we just destined to remain the perfect prey? Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.